Welcome back to the internet, everybody. Yesterday I pointed out that I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and you guys are subbing a lot faster. Just give me a little more time, I'm not ready yet. No, you guys are great. So let's get to it. So this comment story of the day is from Wing01093, saying, I got a choosing beggars story. So I'm a truck driver, and I love my job. Unfortunately, truck stops are considered private property, which makes them a pretty good stomping ground for panhandlers. And I've been seeing more and more lately. I just finished my delivery and went to park to do my paperwork, shower, and grab a bite to eat. I found a parking spot and managed to squeeze into it, and just as soon as I pulled my air brakes, a Lincoln Grand Marquis pulled in front of me and a man started approaching me as I locked my door and readied my taser. I cracked my window and the conversation went as follows. He's like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Hey dude, can you spare 20 bucks for gas? My family and I went out for a day and we overspent a bit. Can you help us get home?" I look at the car and there's a woman and 2 kids in there, and kinda felt bad. I say, "I don't carry a lot of cash, but I'll spare what I can." I had a 20 and 2 5s in my wallet. I grab one of the 5s and I'm about to slide it to the guy when he says, "Nah dude, I need more than that," and honestly expected me to give him more. So I put the money back in my wallet and told him, "Then you can get it somewhere else. Now get the heck out of my truck before I tase you." He left telling me how I was a bad person, how his kids were scared, but honestly he should have just taken the help he was offered. He left the parking lot about 15 minutes later after approaching a few more trucks. Funny thing is, even on his way out, he never went to the fuel island. This is why you don't complain when people try to give you stuff. For those of you who don't know, which is probably 100% of you, I have another YouTube channel that I started last year that I worked on for a while, where I would just job shadow people and go around to people's jobs and figure out what they do and figure out what all kinds of jobs are like. I actually spent a day with a truck driver where he told me all about what it's like to drive across country, so that was pretty fun. I haven't really made anything for that channel in a while because it got really hard to find more people to job shadow, but if you feel like checking it out, it's called The Shadower. Anyways, let's get into the Reddit stories. Starting with, want me to answer every call? Sure thing, enjoy your wait. So part of my job involves taking calls from the public to offer various types of support. This can range from tech support to helping people find services in our country that they need. My team is me and one other person. Between us, we have to cover 7:30 to 19:30, Monday through Friday, and weekends as well. Because of this, the fact that the company won't invest in call waiting for us, we can only take one call at a time. Our voicemail quite clearly states that we're a small team, but if you leave your name and number, we aim to get back to you within 5 minutes. Normally people are rather understanding of our situation and are happy to wait for us to call them back. But as the world is full of impatient a-holes, we often have voicemails just criticizing us. Now this happened today, and I've been wanting to react to this for a long time and finally got the opportunity to. A voicemail saying, "This is bloody ridiculous. I was told to call this number, but what's the friggin' point in telling people to call if there's nobody to answer the phone?" Calls again. "Hello, you're through to company name. This is me speaking. How can I help?" "Oh, so now you answer the phone. What's the point of having a number if you never answer in?" I say, "Did you leave us a voicemail? I've just listened to it, but unfortunately you didn't leave me any contact details, so I wasn't able to return the call. Thank you for calling back. How can I help?" "You should answer every call that comes through." I say, "Well, unfortunately, there are only 2 people in my team, including myself, and there tends to only be one of us in at a time, so if I answered every call, I'd end up having to keep putting people on hold, and that really doesn't seem fair. Regardless, though, you're through at the moment, and I'm happy to help you however I can. You can help me by doing your job and answering the phone when it rings." At this point, I'm like, "F you, lady, so sod it, I'll comply." I say, "Okay, sure, I'm sure that I've annoyed you. I'll make sure to answer the phone whenever it rings. Now, how can I help?" She starts to describe her problem. The phone rings. I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. I'll have to place you on hold." She says, "Wait." I put her on hold. I then help the person calling, taking my sweet, sweet time, going above and beyond just to keep this other lady waiting. Plus, it's nice to help people. I take her off hold. I say, "Thank you for your patience. Now, what were you saying?" She says, "How dare you put me on hold, especially—" "Oh, I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. I'll have to place you on hold." Hold. You can see where this goes. I think I managed to keep this up for about 15 to 20 minutes before she hung up. And I'm in for the next 10 hours. Man, I hope she calls back. Man, what did that lady even want in the end? It seemed like she spent all of her few bits of phone time just complaining that they didn't answer the phone and she never got to the point. Alright, let's move on to buy your own freaking Wi-Fi. So I live in an apartment complex, and some people buy their own Wi-Fi, like me, because the apartment Wi-Fi is really slow, especially with so many people using it. There are a lot of people on my floor because it's the top floor, so I don't really know everyone. What I do know is that there is a really loud family in the next room to me that has gotten several noise complaints. One for me, because I guess they just don't give a crap and the rules don't apply to them, apparently. So one night, after a long day of work and walking through the rain on Tuesday night, I decided to watch TV and relax, and the room next to me, the loud family, became louder and louder. But this time I heard a thud, crying, a door opening, footsteps, and banging on my door. The story is about to get juicy, so here are the nicknames. So after all the noise and banging on my door, I, like most people would, decided to get up and see what all the fuss was about. I open the door and see a 5'9", dark-haired woman standing in the hallway, and the following conversation begins. The parents say, "Good evening." I say, "Good evening. What brings you here at 6:30? So long story short, my Wi-Fi is running super slow and my son's games won't work. So I was wondering if I could use your Wi-Fi just for one day. So me, being nice because it was just one day, I say, "Sure, but just for one day, right?" I say, "Of course." So I whisper the password so no one will hear. They say, "Okay, thanks again." I say, "Glad to help." The next day my connection was garbage. It was running so slow. Loading one page took at least 5 minutes. I gave her one more day because I'm assuming they went to sleep after 20 minutes because it was 6:30. The day after, I finally changed the password and I heard the same series of noises. A thud, crying, a door opening, footsteps, and then banging on my door. I opened the door and there she was again. I'm guessing she wasn't happy because she had that "let me speak to your manager" look that most Karens have. The following conversation began. She says, "So you changed your password?" I said, "Yeah, you said one day, and that one day was the worst because my connection was horrible." "Well, I was wondering if I could use it just one more time." I say, "I'm sorry, I need to have my Wi-Fi because I like to enjoy what I pay for." "Well, I kinda have a kid, so I need to keep him occupied, or else I have to deal with him watching the TV instead of me watching TV, and I need my TV." I say, "Well, if you want, I could recommend a good website to purchase your own fast and good Wi-Fi." You say, "I'm not interested. I need your Wi-Fi because I don't want to pay for that bullcrap." I say, "Well, I can't buy a Wi-Fi only to not use it, and I don't think the yelling in language is necessary." She says, "Just give me the Wi-Fi. I need it now." I say, "Mrs., I need you to leave now because I'm becoming kind of annoyed by this yelling. I'm not giving you the Wi-Fi, and that's final." She says, "You selfish a-hole. Wi-Fi can be shared. The apartment does it." I say, "But that's an apartment complex, not a personal Wi-Fi that has been paid for by one person, and not a massive company." She says, "F you." I never saw her again because I guess she hated me for life. I look back on it sometimes and wonder if I should have given her the Wi-Fi for one more day, but I think it might have ended up happening every day. I also later learned that the thud was the kid slamming his tablet on the ground after the loading took too long. The crying was also him. All the other sounds, you know they are. I hope you enjoyed this story about someone wanting to steal my paid-for Wi-Fi, because actually living it was not very fun. Enjoy your day. And no, I'm not going to give you my Wi-Fi password or my apartment complex name. Man, I don't know which one's worse, the entitled kid for throwing a fit because his internet isn't loading fast enough, or the parent who can't live without their TV. I mean, come on guys, just go outside every once in a while. Alright, one more big story, and then we got a pretty loaded question of the day. Mom called girls sluts because her son harassed them. She gets a taste of her own medicine. I finally have the best revenge story for you guys. This story started about 1 week ago, and the revenge part started 3 days ago. So a new family moved in a few buildings down from ours. They seemed normal at first and didn't interact or socialize with anyone else other than their direct neighbors. Most of the people living in these buildings have been living here for a lot of years and know each other very well. So the son is a creep. He harassed a lot of girls and women this past month or so. He's about 17 to 18 years old. He passed lewd remarks, whistles, catcalls, tries to grope and pushes, elbows, follows girls and women. He followed and tried to grope a 14-year-old girl who told her mom. Her mom talked to other moms before approaching the crazy mom, aka the 18-year-old's mom. The moms found out that many of the girls had been at the receiving end of this harassment, even the women older than him and the newlyweds. The remarks he passed are very vulgar and crass to say the least. The moms visited the crazy mom to talk about it on Sunday, and guess what she said? "Tell your daughters to not dress like sluts. What is my son supposed to do? Do their prey like they're goddesses? They will get what they deserve. My son is only talking. Keep an eye on your daughters, otherwise other men will do more than just talk." Yes, she said this. When they told her he was also harassing married women, she said, "Ask these newlyweds to keep their sexy side for their husbands in their bedroom." Needless to say, everyone was pissed. All the girls got together and sent messages to his college friends and groups on social media about his behavior. But it's the boys and young adult men that stole the cake. They immediately started buddying up to the guy and congratulating him on getting away with being a hero. He certainly felt very proud of it and full of himself. And from Tuesday evening, the revenge party started. Some of these guys, along with the teenager, were standing near the gates of this building entrance when the crazy mom arrives from her work. As soon as she came near, all the guys started making remarks on her very loudly. Some of those including, "Hey auntie, keep your sexy side for your uncle in your bedroom," or "If you walk away this way, then I'll have to come with you," and "Look back," and more. Most of what they said were words uttered by the kid and his crazy mom herself. The kid was mortified and angry, but couldn't do more than cuss them and leave because there were about 4 to 5 guys. This had continued every day, twice a day, in the morning when she leaves for work, in the evening when she returns, and whenever someone comes across her when she is out for whatever reason. She has received comments on the way she dresses, the way she walks, the time she comes home, all of this done in front of her son, and whenever he objects, he's told to keep his slutty mom in check because the guys are only talking. What are they supposed to do, pray to her? Finally, the kid broke down and cried yesterday, but didn't apologize. He just called the girls and guys names and left. The crazy mom tried to approach the parents of the boys, and to her dismay found out that most of the boys were brothers or neighbors to the girls whom her son had harassed. Quite a few moms also told her not to be slutty as it was a bad influence on their sons. One awesome dad shut the door on her face, saying that he doesn't talk to women who cannot parent their child. PSA, I live in India, so most of the conversation was in Hindi or in Marathi. So it isn't a crime to catcall or harass women, even though complaints are made about it all the time. Man, what a bizarre story of fighting catcalling with catcalling. Yeah, I mean, I guess justice was served at least. Now let's get to the question of the day, which is, what is the most bizarre reason a customer got angry with you? Now, because we didn't have a question yesterday, I've pulled extra responses today, so hopefully the video doesn't get too long. So I was working at McDonald's. A customer complained that there was not a tomato on her Big Mac. I explained to her that Big Macs do not come with tomatoes unless special ordered. She then proceeded to sing the Big Mac song to me in front of the lobby full of customers, adding the word tomato into the song lyrics in an attempt to prove her point. Man, see, I'm the opposite. I get everything without tomatoes whenever possible. I had an older gentleman order a food scale that was like a 10-pound capacity. The platform was a few inches wide. He received it and called me, yelling, "How the heck am I supposed to stand on this thing?" We are a redistributor, and he was also upset that we sold a product with someone else's instructions and name on it. Well, old man, unless you're planning on eating yourself, you're gonna need a bigger scale. So after I handed him his coffee, instead of saying thank you to him, I told him, "Have a nice day." He sent an email to corporate and my manager telling them I was rude to him because I didn't follow a company standard. Don't tell me to have a nice day, tell me thank you like you're supposed to. Man, this guy really has nothing better to do than to go and look up 2 emails and send out a complaint over something like that. So a customer came in to buy hand sanitizer. She brought her bottle to the register to purchase it, saw that there was some at the register, then proceeded to share her vast knowledge of swear words with great vigor with me, swearing she would never shop with us again. What? What was she thinking? Like, why didn't you stop me when I walked in and told me that there was hand sanitizer right here? You're wasting my time. So I think I've told this story once in a post somewhere else, probably with one of my old accounts. So I used to work deli for a New England grocery chain. Working in Vermont, working in one of the bigger stores meant that we would often be loaned out during ski season to small stores with big holiday booms. It was very busy for them, about normal for my store. I was slicing cheese for a woman, who got really angry that I hadn't stacked her cheese perfectly straight, which blew my mind. Who expects deli sliced cheese to be stacked perfectly? The story has a happy ending though. Her exact indignant words were, "Where I'm from in New York, they stack the cheese perfectly straight." And the guy behind her, a regular that the local employees had greeted by name, piped up and said, "Well, then maybe you should go the F back to New York." Best moment I've ever had at work. Is this true, New Yorkers? Do you stack your cheese perfectly? So I was working in a coffee and wine bar when I had a man scream at me because he ordered the regular, and I didn't know what he wanted. It was my first time meeting him, which, catastrophically, aligned with the first time I was left to take care of the register alone. I couldn't get away from the yelling, "Where the heck do you think you're going?" in order to ask the people in the back what he wanted. His regular got written out, laminated, and pinned to the cash register after that. He kept screaming, "Do you know who I am?" over and over, which, "No sir, I do not know who you are. This is the first time we met." Also, it turns out he was no one but a dick. You should have just given him the usual.
"What can I get for you?" "Well, the usual." "Oh, thanks, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye."
So a woman I had never met or seen in my life asked me where her kids were. I was confused and said, "I'm sorry, I don't know." And she yelled and asked where they put them. She stormed off angry at me. I never had a clue why she asked me. You know, I've read a lot of very strange stories about very strange people over the months. Really, my only explanation for a lot of these is just, I don't know, schizophrenia? I applied another discount to the total instead of the promoted discount to save her more money. I had to get into an argument with her just to explain I'm trying to save her more money, but she wasn't having it. Pay more money, I don't freaking care anymore. I brought a coupon for 10% off, don't give me 20% off. So I used to deliver pizza. I had someone get irate and refuse the delivery because they'd offer it to be delivered at 7 p.m. and I got there at 6:55. Well, that's when you just stand there for 5 minutes and stare at them, don't say anything, and then right at 7 you say, alright, here you go. So this lady claimed that I was thinking bad thoughts about her, and the resulting negative energy was making her feet bleed. I wasn't thinking bad thoughts about her before that, but I sure was after. Man, if you could make someone's feet bleed just by thinking bad thoughts about them, I want to know what kind of superpower you have. A woman and her high school daughter walked up to me while I'm working in Bath & Body Works. Here's how the conversation goes. The lady says, "We don't know what they're called, but do you know those things you can wear around your neck and you clip keys or badges to them? Do you sell those here?" I say, "Oh, do you mean lanyards?" She says, "What did you call me?" I say, "Nothing. You said you didn't know what those things are called. They're called lanyards. Unfortunately, we don't sell them here. Maybe check Hot Topic?" She says, "Whatever. Thanks for wasting my time." As I turned to leave, the daughter turned behind her mom's back and mouthed, "I'm sorry," to me. Poor girl. That mom was nuts. "Did you call me a lanyard?" "Yeah, I did. What are you gonna do about it?" So I had several people yell at me after I called them out for trying to steal stuff. Even after pointing out the cameras in the store, some would guarantee I would be losing my job after they spoke with corporate. Hello, yes, corporate. That employee over there was calling me out for trying to steal stuff. Can you get him fired, please? So that I can go back to stealing stuff? Go for it, man. The customer's always right. So I worked in a concession stand for a local youth baseball league. One time, a little girl, maybe 5 or 6 years old, came up to the window and ordered a soda. Nothing at all out of the norm. I took her cash, filled her soda, and gave it to her. Probably 30 minutes later, this woman comes up to the window absolutely pissed off. She says, "What the heck is this?" Soda? "Our family does not believe in carbonated drinks." As though carbonation is like Santa Claus. "How dare you give my daughter soda?" "Because she ordered it." I waved to the kid. She says, "No, she didn't. She has never ordered a soda in her life, and would never order a soda. This is your fault. Replace this with something uncarbonated right now." As though it never occurred to her that an unsupervised 6-year-old surrounded by other 6-year-olds enjoying refreshing soda on a hot summer's day might be tempted to see what all the fuss is about. I like to think that that kid is a rebellious teenager now, chugging all the carbonated beverages her heart desires, Mom. Well, I personally do not believe in carbonated drinks either. Actually, carbonation is always like burn the heck out of my mouth, so I never drink soda at all. The only soda I've ever had in my life was like maybe a few grape sodas when I was a kid, and even then I'd have to sip it very slowly. But I've never even tasted a Coke, or a Pepsi, or a Mountain Dew, or a Dr. Pepper, and I call myself American. Well, that about does it for all the responses. Thanks for watching. We'll get our subreddit sometime in the next week. Look forward to that.